We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it! My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
It's time to buckle up for making sense of the madness.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here, and it is time for yet another banned YouTube video from the archives. Now, we've got roughly 40 of these. So as promised, not only through the month, it'll probably take us through most of January as well. We're going to play these. Why? Because it needs to be shown that not only did I never, quote unquote, violate any community guidelines, I never spread misinformation or disinformation or put out age-restricted content. It shows that their narrative management, their narrative control not only didn't work, now these same videos, after my remonetization after 5.5 years, they can earn money. Not that they're breaking the bank. I mean, honestly, outside of maybe some super chats, if the audience is good enough to donate during the broadcast, this video will probably make, I don't know, under $20, I can tell you that. Probably more around the $5 to $10 range, but that's not the point. The point is that YouTube, which is a subsidiary of Google, which is part of the military-industrial complex, has the contracts with NASA, has the contracts with our national security apparatuses via AI. They control the narrative. So that's when, Trump signed that executive order early on saying that, no more restrictions on social media and freedom of speech. I was like, what does that even mean? What does that even, I don't know that it means much. However, with financial litigation and lawsuits, it does seem like they have now flipped the script a bit and eased up not only on the COVID-1984 stuff, but especially the Epstein stuff with more and more incoming. Because the vast majority, as I'm going to show you, of what has been restricted has been Epstein and COVID-1984 stuff. Some of the other age restrictions, which we just beat, by the way, today, have been with my 9/11 stuff. Things like the Barry Jennings interview or the Anthony Saltalamacchia account. If you don't know who Anthony Saltalamacchia is, he was in the basement level of the World Trade Center with Willie Rodriguez and backs everything that Willie said up. And no one knows who he is. In fact, the only place where you're going to find that interview, right here. And you're going to have to search for it. Not going to be easy to find. So today, what we're going to do is we are going to go over this Ask Me Anything, which came right after South Park had put out their special after not being on the air pretty much during the vast majority of the COVID nightmare. Okay? So they didn't really put much out until the very tail end of it, and it was all QAnon nonsense. It was all take the hate and lies shots. It was not my favorite. And even right now, South Park's season, as you know, I've mentioned it here and there, has not been my favorite either. All for freedom of speech, all for laughter. They're funny guys. This series, especially, and I think that this one was a two-parter. Pretty sure it was a two-parter on Paramount Plus, if my memory serves me, because this is now almost 5 years ago, well over 4.5 years ago. And what we're going to do is we're going to play the whole thing. I will come back at the tail end and wrap it up. I do want to remind people that, my set has Rockfin in the background. Hey, we're still on Rockfin, but it's just not the same thing. So if you do want to support the broadcast, and believe me, we need you to support the broadcast, please consider the links down below. $5, $10, $15. It absolutely means the world to me. It's how we're keeping this thing going. Big donors. We really do appreciate you donating via PayPal and beyond. Want to remind everybody, Marigold Resources, if you're buying or selling a business, they got you covered, marigoldresources.com. And then, of course, the River City Reader, rcreader.com. Truly independent media. They got a new piece up there right now, Don't Kill the Dandelion Messenger. And guys, just so everybody knows, it's not just the demonetized stuff that we're going over. Oops, sorry about that. You'll see there's a little Jason Bermas. All the stuff that's been age restricted, right? So right here, this video is age restricted. We were able to get it off the 18 plus, right? And I'm still doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. In fact, right now, as you can see right here, these are the ones that have been taken down. But if you go up, you see all these ones on age restriction, right? Age restricted, age restricted. Forget about the ineligible ones because of copyright. We've already been dealing with that. But there's probably about a dozen or so that are still age restricted. We're going to try to take care of that. Here you see the ones that have been fully pulled, but we can go forward. And then all these videos, another 35 videos, have also been fully pulled. So what we're doing is we are going through these and we are replaying them for you, the audience. So let's buckle it up. Let's thumbs it up, subscribe, share, ring that bell. Please ring that bell. And here we go, folks. This originally aired on March 11th, 2021. Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here, and I am sorry about the false start and the weird tech issues. This is going to be an important one, okay, in my personal opinion, because we're going to review last night's South Park special. I don't even want to say the V word anymore, because obviously this is on YouTube as well as other platforms, including the one behind me. I want to remind everybody we may get deplatformed on this major one for maybe even some of the things we're going to say here about that episode, because the pandemic special, although there were big parts of it that obviously I did not agree with, had moments of brilliance, had moments of laughter. The Kickstart My Heart, the fact that they were delving into the isolation of children and mentally how they weren't doing well. They've also in the past done episodes, and in the recent past, about the V word. For instance, the Cartman episode where he squeals like a pig and runs around, and eventually his mother takes the V word, and at the end they leave it with her becoming artistic. Get it? It causes artism, jokes. But what I watched that aired last night was some of the worst trash they've ever put out. There was very little laughter. There were very few moments of truth or innovation. There were two. There were two moments that I'm going to point to that maybe you could say not completely the worst episode ever. I'm also going to take questions and comments after the fact. Get them in now. You know how we do it. We do it in order, but you can tip through Rockfin and skip the line. So I just want to shout out to those that already have. Where'd my phone go? Oh, there it is right there. Because I get those directly set in to... Oh, there it is. Set in. So Glenn and Flick Off, thank you so much. for the tips already. I liken this a lot to an episode that they did almost 15 years ago on 9/11 about the Hardley Boys. And if you listen to the DVD extras, they actually reference my debate with Popular Mechanics and make fun of me, basically. They say that I'm just unhinged and crazy and what about this and that. And, you know, I watched that episode again recently, and it's still terrible. It completely misconstrues what the arguments are, the valid ones, in questioning on what happened 9/11, and instead goes the route of what seems to be, you know, this closeted, you know, homosexual brothers and Kluge. All right? And then, of course, it associates questioning 9/11 with hating Jewish people and anti-Semitism. So what do we have with this episode? All right, let's start breaking it down right away. Now, I'm going to go start to finish very quickly here in the respect that the episode clearly is 110% pro-vaccine without asking any of the valid questions, and instead propagating that Israel, in the very beginning, they say Israel knows how to do it. They got all their people vaccinated, which is true. They got like 90+% of their people vaccinated. We're going to get into that in a moment because Israel's got some other things like freedom bracelets and vaccine passports. Not in the episode. Not concerned. There was no freedom bracelet talk. But however, it comes around full circle from the beginning when they're talking about how great a job Israel did to at the end, everybody getting vaccines from Israel magically from, I mean, you could say the creators of the show. You could say, you know, the people they portray as the, you know, demonic adrenochrome drinking pedophilic elites. We'll get into that later. I know that sounds weird if you haven't seen it yet. But, you know, Garrison as the now ex-president, you know, is basically the story arch throughout, other than the vaccines are great. And if you are questioning them, you're number one, a Trump supporter of a vocal debunker of all of that stuff from the outset other than me. If anybody can point to somebody else who was vehemently debunking this from the outset, please do. I'm all ears. I'd love to hear from you. Who else told you there were no superheroes on message boards? It's happening. And for that, it's tough for me to argue that they made fun of those people, especially even kind of throwing it in their face when they get children, for instance, to become the little QTs. Remember the Cuties Netflix scandal with, you know, them showing basically a bunch of young kids in very sexually provocative situations from a foreign film? Remember that? Now, I'll say this too. They didn't touch a lot of like very real issues. Now, again, if you believe that the vaccine's bad, you're white, you're a Trump supporter, and you're QAnon, and apparently you're also armed. And that also upset me because, for instance, even the Muffin Man, as I like to call him, Buffalo Bob or whatever, you know, the guy they're saying is the major, you know, guy behind the insurrectionists, the guy who stopped them from stealing muffins, right? The face paint. In this, they have somebody in the same outfit, but he's carrying. He's always, they've got guns everywhere. So there is no nuance. There is no mention of Biden. There is no mention of warp speed. And the only time that they talk about, quote unquote, the elite, they do so in a very degrading manner for anybody that would question these things, especially when we talk about the vaccine. It's all about them chipping you, right? Now, I've talked about actual microchips in the past, just like I've talked about actual high-level government pedophilia and actual high-level Hollywood pedophilia, right? But all of that is thrown by the wayside in this because they mix the QAnon sense with it. And now, you know, if you want to point to somebody that it could increase your risk of an HIV infection, or perhaps, I don't know, you know,
people had false positives. In this, there are no reports of side effects. All the elderly that take it want to go to the bar afterwards. They're fine. I'm just going to put this up here because I can't say much else. But if you've been watching my videos, we won't be supporting you today, CNBC. This was the American Medical Association, Dr. Sandra Freihofer, prior to this. Okay, take a look. Doctors say CDC should warn people the side effects from COVID vaccine shots won't be a walk in the park. In this, they portray the Walgreens where they're giving you shots as an exclusive nightclub. And when the elderly come out, they come out mocking everybody without masks. That's the other big thing in this, is at the end, when they're all dancing and happy and partying, they believe because they've gotten the vaccine, there will be no more masks. And right now we're in an era of double masking, right? There's so many issues and problems with this episode. No thanks, CNBC, really trying to put it in. And again, Israel becomes the savior with theirs. No talk of their electronic freedom bracelets to quarantine people. No talk of vaccination passports. None of that. That's not in there. And, they don't talk about anything like the Great Reset or these people on the record. And again, instead of talking about actual high-level pedophilia, right? They skew it. They show you Epstein, and then they show you Epstein killing himself, and then it's a bunch of children being tortured by like Tom Hanks and Oprah and drinking adrenochrome. Now, I warned all of you people that bought into these fairy tales, okay? I don't get it. I don't get it. Guys, there's so much stuff out there. Franklin scandal, Barney Frank's callboy ring, okay, in D.C. that was connected to Chevy Chase Elementary School. Anybody can read that right now. Anybody can read about Seattle Mayor Ed Murray. Anybody can find out about Dennis Hassert and Anthony Weiner. All that's available. You want to talk Hollywood? Open secrets out there. You can check out Bryan Singer. We know that Kevin Spacey's done some bad things. Even Weinstein, accused of 16-year-old girls, basically, dancing around naked for him and giving him massages. And that's what we know about. All that stuff's real. Didn't take secret super guys on message boards, right? But that's what you see in this episode. So where am I going to get to maybe the 2 points of saving grace in the episode? There's not much, right? The pandemic special for me was a whole lot more tongue-in-cheek, saying things you couldn't say. This one, again, nobody who questioned anything wasn't a nut job, right? And it wasn't, they used the whites as the family to represent all white people. The other thing is, they used Garrison as the president the last 4 years, for those not familiar with the show. Basically, they turned him into a Trump-like figure. So when he starts to fall down the Q rabbit hole, right, because the Q people figure they're going to become tutoring on, and that's how they teach people about the adrenochrome and Hanks and Oprah and all that Johnny nonsense, right? That, again, I warned you about that they'd use. All you people that even hung on till March 4th a week ago, what were you thinking? You've been grifted. You've been grifty McGrifted, okay? So Garrison starts to follow him, and this is one of the saving graces. While they go, and he's telling them, all of a sudden their guns are taken away, and then they're teleported to like this Iceland. And the creators of the show are having a goof on them, right? The guy who's upset about them being, demonic, pedophilic, Satanist, is now having his arms taken off, turned into a woman with a head coming out of the ass, walking upside down, and eventually becoming a dickhead, like an actual dickhead. Okay? Meanwhile, Garrison begins to bargain with whoever it is. He goes, I don't care if you rape children. I just want to be left alone. And the guy starts freaking out. And then, for those that don't know, obviously they don't do the cutouts, it's all computer. And it's almost like you took, I do After Effects. So they swing everything around, and everything's on these flat planes, right? And that's how they do it, layering on flat planes with 3D motion. Okay? And so they kind of show you like they break the fourth wall or the fourth dimension in it. And then at the end, that's how everything goes back to normal. Again, Israel saves everything. Now, the one line in the entire thing that I thought was important, and the only point, is at one point, the pro-vaccine kids that are trying to get their teachers vaccinated, okay, they come in and they're battling the little cuties. And the news people are going back and forth. And there's one news person that's kind of like your Jim Acosta, just praising the bravery of the vaccine, pushing the agenda. And then the other news guy goes, well, isn't it kind of the same thing because they both believe in something? And the other guy freaks out and he's like, well, if they actually believe what they believe, which is that there is high-level pedophilia, which is something that I do believe because it's true, but it's not Q stuff, right? See the problems? How could you not do something? That's why I've been doing this 15 years. How could you not do something? Not have hopium, not rely on super secret sources and people that are grifting you, but being able to show people, for instance, I'm not talking about chipping you. I'm talking about the risk of HIV. I'm talking about your DNA now creating antibodies from an mRNA vaccine that has not been tested on humans, this specific one. You know, I'm talking about reality, talking about real side effects, real warnings, but you can't do that here. Now, again, the saving grace was like, again, if you believe this stuff, how could you not do it? And I do believe it, guys. I just don't believe any of the Q nonsense, and I see the poison it's become. And quite frankly, I was surprised they didn't do the Capitol, and they didn't. And again, they made it into a party afterwards that everybody got to take their masks off. However, they also had a teacher die, which is ridiculous. Who wasn't an old lady, wasn't an old man, didn't have comorbidities, and it was because she didn't get the vaccine in time. All right, and that's basically what leads into the end of the episode. There's a lot there. I probably missed some stuff. But I want to get your questions and comments in there. And again, you can skip the line by tipping over at Rockfin. It comes right to the phone. In fact, I'm going to check those now. Wayne, thank you so much. Mandy, thank you so much. Kathleen, thank you so much. Leslie K, thank you so much. Okay. And Jaime, my man, we had a great chat yesterday with all the Rockfin folks behind the scenes on where it's going. I just want to tell everybody that, number one, thumbs this video up. But if you're not on Rockfin right now, what I need you to do is go make the free account. Okay? Go make the free account now. Come on over. In about a month or so's time, you won't have to make a free account to watch videos anymore. You'll be able to just go to the links, which is awesome. But if you want to comment on the free videos or thumbs them up or be able to tip, possibly, I'm not sure how they're going to do it, you are going to have to make an account, just like you do here over at YouTube. So do it now before I get completely deplatformed. Who knows? Maybe this episode, which I don't think is spicy at all, is a little too spicy for them. That's absolutely a possibility at this point. That's how crazy things have gotten, that me commentating on a TV show about their propaganda, may not be allowed anymore. It may not be allowed anymore. So, guys, again, thumbs it up. Let's get to the questions. That's where we're going to. And remember, you can support me at Venmo, also just like at Jason Bermas. All the stuff goes out on Twitter, plus news stories that sometimes I miss. And basically, I cover there, but I don't cover here. So get them in. And then Jason is Void at Yahoo. That's the PayPal. All right, what's happening, Gritch? How we doing, bro? And I want to apologize for everybody who tuned in the first time and didn't get it. And I want to thank everybody, again, that's watching across all platforms, especially Rockfin. No need to apologize. It's all good. Now you got to say, I'm sorry. It's the YouTube's working hard to suppress your voice of truth. Well, thanks, Doc. Smash that like button, peeps. Thank you, Farming Ganja. Greetings. Hello. Hey there. Hey, Mermaid. I was wondering what Jason would say about the pandemic episode. Pandemic episode was a lot different. I did a whole review on that. A lot of different things. I didn't watch it, but the first special was so much propaganda. You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. Listen, I had my problems with the first one. I had real problems with the first one. Can we get 100 thumbs, by the way? 232 watching. But, guys, this one was just terrible. Let's see. YouTube's been deleting messages in the live chat. That's definitely a possibility. Let's see. Hit that like button. Slap it, tap it, lick it, or smack it. Just don't forget them thumbs. Jason, have you heard anything about Gates building any smart cities in any of the farmlands he just recently purchased? No, I have not. But I will tell you that there is a outward smart city agenda in New York State, especially in New York City right now. Eric Schmidt did a teleconference with Cuomo sometime last year. We covered it, where they were just smiling and laughing all about it. And remember, Bill Gates is supposed to reimagine education there as well with his foundation. Okay, so those are the links that you want to go to unless they've been documented. But again, he's now the largest farmland owner in the United States, and we should just love billionaires. By the way, over at the Twitter, just to let you know, Buffett has now joined the elite level of billionaire, making, I think, another $8.9 billion this last year alone. It's so weird that the people in the good guys club or the super rich friends who are worried about, population, overpopulation in particular, they're just like hamming it up right now. Soros, Gates, Bloomberg, Buffett. Oprah's in there. Hey, Oprah. All greased up. Yes, and we're back. Much love, Bermas. Keep doing your thing. Means a lot to so many. Peace, brother. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Oh, do I have an interview today? Is it today? It might. No, I think it's Sunday. I've got the interview, right? I've already done that. I think I got an interview Sunday, not today. Man, I got to keep up on that. Yes, it is Sunday. All right. Oh, that V word. Yep, can't talk about that V word. I drone strike the like button. Yucca, yucca, yucca. Owns 25,000 acres in Arizona. My goodness. I thought it was lame as well, and I'm a big South Park fan. As am I. I agree 100% about South Park. It blew. Normie comedy. I don't know why South Park has had such good episodes in the past, but also seem to get propagandistic. Well, they're never perfect, but this one especially, the way it was. Yes, the Rockfin. Make that free account today. Yeah. Any Project Cassandra video yet? No. 100 million a month in drug smuggling, and Bruce Orr shut down the investigation. Shocking. Jim Garrison, thank you so. The big O is in Thoreau. I don't know what that is, but I appreciate that super chat. Or not really, it's a tip. It's not a super chat. And the cool thing about Rockfin is you can tip at any time. It doesn't even have to be during the live broadcast. I love that platform. Love that platform. Thanks for the hat, the shirts, guys. I appreciate it. I bunker busted the like button. Loose change, best change. Let's see. I spent an hour on Rockfin looking at other creators. I've been missing out. Not sponsored, LOL. Well, thank you, Dina. Yeah, there's a lot of great creators on there. So, Richard Medhurst is on there. Of course, you can find Jimmy Dore on there. Nico House, The Convo Couch, Ron Placone, Graham Elwood. That's outside of the MMA stuff, right? Like the Chael Sonens, the John Fitch. I love Fitch on both the MMA side and, of course, his commentary. There's so much great stuff on Rockfin. And again, if you're a premium member for $9.99 a month, not like 2 super chats in a week, $9.99 a month, you don't just get all the premium content of Jason Bermas, you get everybody's premium content. You want to learn striking by Duke Rufus? You betcha. You want to see lessons from John Fitch on how to grapple like a madman? You got it. And they're only expanding. Let's see. Check out the documentaries playlist. Yes. And we'll soon have a stack over at Rockfin as well. I still haven't put Invisible Empire up there. I need to do that. That's like a free speech zone. Yucca, yucca. Soy Park is what I call it now. They're part of the elite. Now, and they kept using the term elite. I don't even like calling those scumbags that. Predator class. I'm not an activist. Blowing the doors off the like button is the best I can do. Thanks, Darwin. The globalists got to them. Is the government paying South Park? Oh, boy. Non-white people have the most incentive to ask questions about the safety of the thing. Yeah, that's the other thing. You know, there is no talk of, obviously, Tuskegee or people of colors concerned. Everybody wants it. The whole thing is all about sneaking in, smuggling out vaccines, all these people wanting it. Again, the only people that don't are, you know, the QAnon sense members. Let's see. Thank you, Ariel Castillo. He says, you rock, Jason. I'm happy to see you're doing walk-alongs again live on your YouTube. Sending you an email soon. God bless. Yep, and I'm going to try to do another one this afternoon. I'm trying to get out there. Listen, I need to get in shape, but at least I need to walk a little bit. He goes, South Park goes half-ass again. And that is from Costello. That is not Castillo. That's Costello. Thank you so much. Get Gematria Effect news on your channel. I don't know what that is, but again, I don't do prophecy stuff, guys. Like I talk about occult stuff every once in a while because, you know, the elite or the predator class participate in a lot of it outwardly, you know? And again, that's the thing. I've been talking about Bohemian Grove so long. I've played that clip of Skull and Bones where the devil equals death, death equals the devil, and they're doing mock sacrifices, and it's on video. You know, and I've collected the Bohemian Grove books, their annals. I mean, it's madness, but none of that's going to be in here. No. But you'll see a pentagram in the background when you go out into the basement, and it's just all this crazy stuff. And, you know, again, it's the everything's pinned up. It looks like something out of True Detective, only you're not given the gravity of True Detective. It's all a bunch of crazy people. Can't wait for Library, which is part of Odyssey, to take over YouTube with live videos. It would go through the roof on Odyssey and Library. I'm on Odyssey. And they beta tested some of the live streaming. I wish they'd done that. I, unfortunately, had to take the Royal Watch Along off of Rockfin. That was an exclusive there. There were some worries about maybe copyright infringement because of how much of it I played. I did put it over on Odyssey. So if you are looking for that, because I took a lot of, listen, guys, I'm losing subscribers like crazy on YouTube. Losing. First of all, I lost a ton because, you know, even after the election, I was trying to tell people, you know, any of this stuff that where you were depending on Barr or the military, or you thought that, you know, Biden was, you know, not at the White House, all these things, you know, were distracting from much more relevant issues like militarizing D.C., the fact the guy's barely conscious and is reading off a teleprompter at best, and he can barely do that. There's so much more to talk about. Real stuff. But it's happening. It's happening. Little cuties. They did it with a Q, though. Government will not save you from government. This goes for government-sponsored media. Correct. Anyone here familiar with gematria? Again, man, are we going to talk about that? Is that what this is like the South Park thing? Killing you, Q Shaman. Thank you so much for suggesting the donations. Yes, we're still using the Go Get funding, but it's kind of garbage. Again, I got to get things together. I got to figure it out. I know that, you know, Whitney Webb just got booted off of Patreon. They couldn't explain why, right? So she's going another route, and I might have to go a similar route. Let's see. Matt Groening was on the Lolita Express with flight logs with witnesses. I've always wondered about him being so on the mark. Well, Matt Groening, look, you got to understand, no matter what you think Groening was doing on there, how much he's involved with the day-to-day on each episode of The Simpsons. And they were pumping out 20-plus episodes a year back in the day. And they had all sorts of writers on there. I just think that they're part of the zeitgeist. You know, they got a lot right. Let's see. Numerology, sacred sciences. You say laughs in the first thing I got to hear when I tune in is about the P. Yeah, they can't wait to add that to the LGBTQAI. I don't understand anything you said there other than the LGBTQ. What P are we talking about? Like, is that a new thing? I know non-binary, and you know you can identify as a noodle now, right? Italy is making Russian Sputnik vax. Yikes. Jason, focus on less esoteric topics to be sure. Yeah, of course I do. Let's see. I got to check them out. I like high-impact vlogs. Press for truth. We are change. The dollar vigilante. I know I got a medical disinformation strike. Are you kidding me? I'm not a doctor. I just sting. Interesting. Vaccines are deadlier than the virus. Isn't graining a 33rd degree Mason? I don't know if that's the case either. Maybe. The green badge. I know when I went to I think it was the George Washington Masonic Memorial, they did have a little Simpsons section for their Stonecutters episode. It's pretty interesting. Let's see. The green badge. My doctor straight up told me I would still need to wear a mask if I got V'd up. And I was around other V'd up masked people. Really. Again, there's so much wrong with this episode. Shouldn't bioweapons and warfare be banned for fuck's sakes? Oop, did I drop an F-bomb there? By the way, 250 watch and only 114 thumbs. Can we get 150? Just take your final solution. It'll all become clear to you with the long-term side effects. I guess it depends on your metabolism. Maybe it'll be 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe a year. I'm not taking anything. Thumbs up and share it. Hit that like button. The entire episode pissed me off. You literally nailed every problem with it. It just sucks because they have a huge influence on people. Christine, I know it. I might have missed some things, but there were huge problems with the episode. It wasn't very funny. It was hard for me to watch. Even the backstory where they were talking about human relationships being fractured during this thing, which they have been. But the other irony of that is that they were splitting up their time with Kenny, and Kenny was being treated like the child while all the adults decided for him, And the irony in that is that we are treated like children, but it's not by our friends. It's by this predator class, but then entails this methodology of pitting us, the people that have the most in common, against each other, trying to say we have the least in common, and then our relationships are fractured. But they know best they know what's best for us. Normalization. Why would anyone even want an unnecessary jabby jab? Why? Let's see. Dennis Hassert, really? Is not real. Trusting those WHO make bioweapons cure is illogical. They're all demonic. I watched Dennis Hassert getting praised at a college wrestling meet in Illinois. I bet you did, Neil Swanson. That makes me sad, but it's so true. And again, he's not in jail. He barely went to jail. The man was named a serial child abuser by a judge. Okay? He served less than what his sentence called for, and he was never convicted of abusing any children whatsoever, is free today. Nothing to do with QAnon nonsense. The Speaker of the House shielded people like Mark Foley. Anybody can look this stuff up. Anybody. That's what hurt me so bad. And then, I still have people that want to associate me with the garbage. Sick pricks. I know it. Have you seen the new toddler book? I don't know. No, I hope not. No, I haven't seen that. Jennifer Lawrence is not accusing him of anything. Talking about Weinstein? I wasn't talking about her being 16 at the time. Dear Lord, I love South Park, but I turned it off after 10 minutes. Well, I'll tell you what. I watched the whole thing. It is true about the naked gals hired by wealthy to dance around nude. I know one gal shocked me. Brother, they're still hanging on till March 20th now. The goalpost keeps moving. What? There's 9 more days till more not. Listen, we got a militarized DC and a zombie president who obviously is in charge of nothing. He's in charge of nothing. He can barely speak. He can't remember his Secretary of Defense. He doesn't know what the Pentagon is anymore, folks. Not a conspiracy theory. He could barely speak before the election. He could barely speak now. I watched Ted Cruz, I think, on Hannity. Hannity tried to put him to task on, how mentally gone Joe is. And Cruz actually said, I don't think it's as bad as people say. I think he'll serve out his full term. Bullshit. I don't know how he could physically hang on for that long. It's over for Joe. Joey B's long gone. Zombie Joe's reign is in. Geoengineering is still on. We need to put a stop to this. It's very true. The episode was still funny. I didn't really find it funny. Again, it had like 2 moments. Help support alternative news. Donate to the Bermas Brigade. Thank you so much, Rich. They are still hanging on. I can't even believe that. South Park used to be my favorite show. Don't get me wrong. I love John B. Wells and Caravan to Midnight, but they're just as delusional as AJ beating that Trump drum. Yeah, we don't beat any drums here. We take Trump to task when he doesn't stand up against the military-industrial complex during false flags in Duma. We expose that those WikiLeaks emails are available now. We expose the fact, okay, that that's a reality and that Trump should have backed off and not sent missiles in. And then on Imagine It's Happening message boards, they said, oh, just missiles. Yeah, missiles don't take lives now. They're just missiles now. See the frustration? You see why I get upset? I mean, and not even 150 thumbs. Can we get 200 thumbs? My goodness. South Park has sold out. Used to be my favorite show. South Park's always sucked. Effing shiz. Never was any good at all. I wasn't really surprised. Oprah very recently did her part at Distraction. Anyone else? I think that everybody's getting that royal story way wrong. Way wrong. Go watch the Odyssey. It's now on Odyssey. The thing is, I want to do another watch along, but I can't do it live on Odyssey. And, you know, Rockfin has kind of asked me not to do it there. YouTube, no. Maybe I'll do it just exclusively on Twitter and do it on Periscope. Maybe there. I don't think I'd have problems there for some reason. Let's see. That's effing sick. Too much sarcasm confuses the truth. Let's see. Oh, we got another Tipsky and Hutch over here. Matthias Masberg, thank you so much, says, thank you for your work, man. And as I say in the comments before, it's off topic, but check out Mario Build Reps on YouTube. I'm sure you will like it. Atlantis is Here series. Mind-blowing. All the best. The Atlantis is Here series. You know, I watched the Secret History of America series, which gets into Shakespeare and it gets into Atlantis and all sorts of things. Many moons ago. Many moons ago. Too much sarcasm. Oh, we did that one. Matt Lauer, Charlie Rose. Rape is bad. Child rape is worse. The last line. Everything is propaganda nowadays. QAnon. Anon. Biggest false prophet in history at this juncture, in my opinion. It's awful. It's awful. Blessings to everyone in the chat. I mean, you should go watch my Vice QAnon sense review. I think I did a really good job of wrapping up everything there. I think I did a good job. I don't know. Maybe I didn't. A lot of people liked that video. It was just before I got banned again from YouTube for the second time. Let's see. No confusing. A lot of them openly worship Baal. Almost 250 people out there. Can we, and only 67 thumbs. I know. Can we get a few more for the JB? Can we get 200? 275 watching. mRNAs are not even vaccines by definition. Let's see. Jones, that's the truth. A lot of people are too egotistical and emotional, see past sarcasm, and use it as some type of confirmation. We got some thumbs up over here from Dina. That's how they dismiss the pedophilia, link it to QAnon, nothing to see here. Again, that's a big problem. And that was a big problem from the very beginning. Secret indictments, Guantanamo Bay is a good thing. They're going to get the pedophiles. Just let's name everybody. Everybody we can think of is an adrenochrome drinking, Satanist pedophile. No evidence needed. It just discredits so much of the crazy stuff that's gone on before. Remember, they discredited what was happening in the 70s and 80s as satanic panic. Just saying. Point it out. What up? Normally, when he asks for a thumbs up, I do the opposite. But since Jay's been away for a hot minute, I'll oblige. Oh, well, thank you so much. Climate change is the biggest false prophet in history. Once it gets cool, I'm out. Let's see. Good points. Climate change is real, but God is in control. I can't get back into Rockfin, but keep getting emails. That's weird. I'm 30 years old, a left-leaning socialist, and I'm not getting the vaccine. I'm not falling for their deep state propaganda. I'm in California. All right, Meteor Dreams. I think about what an RNA is. Not Q, but something that has always bothered me was when Robert Kennedy touched his nose on a live feed when someone asked him if JFK Jr. is alive. Why would he do that? I don't know. Maybe his nose itched. Maybe his nose itched, Monica. Listen, for some reality, okay, people need to go check out the Naomi Wolf, Robert Kennedy Jr. And that is total Q, by the way. It's you're in Larperville thinking that is even a possibility. I'm sorry, Monica. But what you should watch, because it is a reality, is his hour-long discussion with Naomi Wolf is outstanding. It is outstanding, like, wow, outstanding on both parts. Some of the best stuff I've seen, especially from, self-professed leftists or progressives or Democrats, right? It is a amazing back and forth interview. So Naomi Wolf, you can't find it on YouTube. I had to find it on some other site that had reposted it. Naomi Wolf, Robert Kennedy Jr., please check it out. Okay. Let's see. They fire unvaccinated people in Israel. Yeah, no, it's getting crazy there. Again, you need a passport to go get groceries, to go to the dance club. They want to put a freedom tracking bracelet on you. None of that was in the South Park episode, but boy, Israel saved us. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? They're just waiting for you to say something. It doesn't matter. It's all retroactive. They can pull the plug whenever they want. No entrance to restaurants without the green badge. Exactly. Yeah, that doesn't resemble, it's funny because when the Nazis asked for your paper, it was okay because they said please. And I'm sure a lot of people are saying please when they ask for your papers or your badge. Please. They put please up when they wanted you to wear a mask outside on Main Street in Oneonta, New York. They were nice about it. It's not tyranny when they're nice, when they ask nice with please. Don't give in to coercion. Stay strong. You're not alone, even if it feels like it in Cali. Will you be attending the F censorship protest in D.C.? We're 6 days away. That means I have to be on the road in 4 days. I think I'm staying home, unfortunately. I really thought about it. I've taken a huge financial hit the last 2 months. From the GoFundMe being taken away in January now, right around this time in January, and then being off the YouTube platform. And I'm just going to be honest. I mean, that's like a $2,000 to $3,000 trip. Depending on how long I stay, about $2,000 to $3,000. Like if I'm there, first of all, I would have to take off on the 15th to be there on the 17th. Then if I stay there till the 19th, those are 4 hotel trips. $200 a shot there. Then there's the gas, and then there's the spending, and that's if everything goes well. So maybe I get done for like $1,000, maybe $1,500. But I don't know, man. I really did think about it because I want to show people what DC is like. But I think that I'm going to stick here in Iowa, and I know that's disappointing. I actually really did want to see Pasta and Steve, etc. I sustain they like information mining your chat too much to get rid of. You're too useful. Views on C19 real virus are completely manufactured. Yes, it's a real virus. We've gone over this again and again and again and again and again. We've talked about the HIV insert that was talked about by the Nobel laureate. We've shown you that. We've talked about the reports that it could affect fertility, that it's in your testicles for months and months and months, the cystic fibrosis, like symptoms afterward. I think it's very real. Let's see. Replicated DNA strand. You're smart. Sigil, it's criminal. I agree. Rockfin. Yeah, let's make that free Rockfin account. Like, seriously? Like, if you're not Rockfinning, what are you waiting for? You want to be Rockfinning? That's where we're at. That's where it's all at, folks. Please, again, you never know. I might not be here tomorrow. You wonder where I was?
I wasn't stopping to make videos. In fact, if you make that free Rockfin account, there's about 15, 20 videos you haven't seen over there that are free still. So make that free account. Let's see. Debunked it from day one. Thank you. Hey, what's up, Brian? QAnon is the equivalent to Blue Anon's Russian collusion delusion. It's worse. I don't know. They're both really bad. It's tough because they're so bad. I mean, you had the sham impeachment, right? And again, if you talked about the sham impeachment, you were crazy. They threw that with the QAnon sense. And then if you questioned anything about election integrity, they talked about Venezuela switching out boards for 12 states. And I'm like, man, that is just, I've been talking about the harms of electronic voting for a long time. And that wasn't even near, many of the complaints. That's where I'm going to end that because, hey, the V word, talking anything about, fraud, just not allowed on this platform. Reality is often not allowed on this platform, but I'm gonna keep it real. And sometimes keeping it real goes wrong. They can keep a good finger on the pulse of critical thinking people. They get rid of your channel, that won't happen. They're gonna get rid of it. You don't know what's going on here. It's crazy. Seagal, I can't imagine. RNA is the mechanism that naturally assembles DNA. Thanks again, Gritch, for telling people to support. Really do appreciate that, throwing that in there. Just a ride, Yusuf. Good to see you here. Thoughts on the new episode, Yusuf? You got to go all the way back. We review it right in the very beginning. I know you want to be a part, or you just watch from now, right? Because obviously this is a while back, and then you rewind and watch till you get there. Sigel saw small leaked audio. Sounds like madness. Prayer sent. Hope you're doing well, Jason. Enjoyed the South Park review. Thank you, DJ. Appreciate that. The Saudi prince is building the Neom aligned city that will most likely be a smart city. Yeah, no, the smart cities are coming. Let's see. Specifically, it's an mRNA and tRNA, right? In conjunction with ribosomes. It's been a while. Talking big words over there. You can look up smart cities to see what areas they're building. That's right, DJ, you can. The YouTube bots are out in force. I can't even write medical terms concerning human body parts. Am I going to have to start writing backwards exclusively? I don't know. Rockfin, 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 Rockfin. Let's see. mRNA is gene editing therapy, not a vaccine. Just the tip. Relevant identified uses of the substance or mixture and uses advised, et cetera, et cetera. I think we're going to wrap it up in the next 5-10 minutes. So if you are looking to get a question in and skip the line, I see that former VP Biden has also tipped out. I want to say thank you for that, my friend. You can only do that over at the Rockfin right now. That's why you're seeing a white screen. I was just going to check over there on that. Let's see. Look up ingredients, safety data sheet. I encourage people to do that, but they encourage you not to do that. Yes, Whitney Webb's Unlimited Hangout is on Rockfin, and she's doing a great job there. Love Whitney Webb. Hey, Carl, pretty good. Thanks. Great to see you. Luke from We Are Change now has a beauty school dropout t-shirt. Thought you should know. Well, good for him. It's good to know Luke watches my stuff. You know what I mean? I think it's funny. I am a beauty school dropout. I have no problem with that. I look at so many people out there that put so much behind a piece of paper or someone bestowing some honor, a badge or a medal, right? When really all you got is you and your actions. And I'm sorry, I'm not that smart, but I'm a lot smarter than so many people that got that paper, and not just the paper at my university. I'm talking about around the country. And I'm not trying to be cocky about that. It just shows you how far we've slid down as a society. Let's see. Drug war has been going for 35 years, and drugs are winning. Graham Elwood got the vaccine. I hope he doesn't grow horns in the tail. I don't think he's going to grow. Graham Elwood's in really good shape, man. If Graham Elwood's going to see any kind of side effects, it'll probably be after the second one, and honestly, long term. And I hate to even put it that way, because obviously I'm not hoping anything happens to the guy. I like the guy.
But like, just to give you an example, not this past one, but the Ray meeting before this, I heard him and it sounded like he was doing pull-ups, and sure enough, in the background, he was doing pull-ups. Well, we're waiting to get in there. So, props to those vegan guns, because that guy's in way better shape than I am right now. I'm shameful. Shameful. I don't know what you're talking about. South Park has always been elitist. In many respects, yes. But if you watch the very, very beginning, I pointed out some ones where they actually let some free thinking flow. But then I pointed the 9/11 episode from 15 years ago. Oh, wow. Vanessa Beeley lost her YouTube yesterday. Wow. Yeah, and they took Jamie Deluxe. Jamie Deluxe, also on Rockfin. Encourage you to go check out Jamie's stuff there. Predictor Class makes more sense. I like Predator Class. South Park is on Comedy Central. Like, seriously, who didn't see this coming? I think it's always been filth. Well, again, everybody's allowed to have their own opinions. Guys, I think that's going to do it for me. I think we're going to wrap it up. Thumbs the video up wherever you're watching. Subscribe, share, join the Bermas Brigade. Again, we're losing subs on YouTube. That's fine. I think we just went under 61,100 today. We might go under 61,000 before they get rid of us altogether. Make that free account. Make that free account. Join Rockfin. So much going on there.
So, folks, there's literally like another minute and a half left in the video. I do want to remind everybody, unfortunately, Rockfin is a shell of its former self. Again, it's very hard to go up against the big boys with billions, and especially when you're trying to be a video platform and the number one search engine out there basically has you shadow banned because they have a video platform, right? I mean, Rumble not only had that big money, they were smart. They took out television ads, right? And they took out a lot of AdSense ads as well. I'll say this. I don't think I've gained a subscriber on my Rumble channel in months, maybe years. Like I got to 20,000 or so subscribers within the first 3 to 6 months. And I've been stuck there ever since. I've been on that platform for several years. I will say this about YouTube. We hit 75K today. Now look, at the pace I'm at, to get to 100K, we're talking about another 8 to 10 years. Not 8 to 10 months, 8 to 10 years. So we are obviously still pretty shadow banned here, but how did I do? That video is now almost 5 years old. You're going to get to grade it. I do want to thank everybody out there that donated via this broadcast. We got a new monthly subscriber, supporter over at the Buy Me a Coffee. Really want to thank that person. And we got a couple super chats there, but $5, $10, $15, guys, it means the world to me. It allows me to continue to do this. I've been doing this now for the better part of 20 years. Hard to believe, but the grays are here. I had somebody make some commentary the other day about my hair, and I don't know what they thought. Like, I remember I did a show with Sam Tripoli like 6 months ago with the Union of the Unwanted, and he thought that I had dyed my hair like blonde or tips. Guys, I don't dye my hair. Everything you're looking at is au naturel. I'm just gray. I'm pushing 50. I'm 46 years young. Okay? I've been doing this a long time. I want to do it not another 20 years. I want to do another 40 to 50 years. And that's not hyperbole. I want to do this into my 90s. I want to make a difference. Obviously, I want to continue to grow my audience, but this isn't about Jason Bermas. This is about the information. Who else was calling Joe Biden Zombie J, Dementia Joe, before they even installed him, right? Who called out the QAnon sense first? Who continues to remain consistent on the issues that matter, including this one, including Epstein, including AI and transhumanism? Hopefully you think it's me, and hopefully you think I'm worth supporting. So one more time, guys, please consider the Buy Me a Coffee or the PayPal down below. Big donors. It's the holiday season. I got a couple nieces. Let me tell you, the Christmas lists are not cheap, and we're just trying to get the bills paid because there are no paid talk shows right now. There's just you, the Bermas Brigade. Without you, I couldn't do it. So, as always, I want to thank you for joining me. It is not about left or right. It is always about right and wrong. Please go check out all the documentary films for free in the playlist section down below. Loose Change Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Shade the Motion Picture, and Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined. I absolutely love you guys, and I will see you all on the flip side.